Welcome to 10 with Ken. I'm Ken Steele. This episode is especially for students contemplating life after high school. You're faced with some daunting questions and a dizzying array of choice.
I know it's overwhelming thinking about where you're gonna go, what program are you going into.
It's a potpourri of making decisions.
Such a challenging task for students and parents.
This is an important decision in their lives.
This is an important decision that will
impact you for the rest of your life.
The next 4 years of their life and their future opportunities.
A few weeks ago, I asked 45 experts at the Ontario University Fair to give me their best piece of advice for you. And these are people who should know. 11 university presidents, 9 university recruiters and admissions officials, and 25 current university students. They had 7 key messages for you as you contemplate your post-secondary path, your program or major. Let's take 10 and take heart. I'm a consultant who works with most of the colleges and universities across the country, and I also have 2 daughters about your age. I know advice isn't always appreciated, but sometimes it can be quite helpful, as Amit Chakma, president at Western University, says.
When I come here, I listen to what experts tell students.
For this episode, I've compiled the best piece of advice from 45 experts at the 2016 Ontario University's Fair. There are going to be 100,000 or so thousands of young people flowing through here this weekend. A very anxious moment as they try to decide what to do. Contemplating life after high school. What's a piece of advice you would offer to prospective students trying to make this big choice in their life? It is a tough question. When asked, most people had the same response. But seriously, they also went on to give you some great advice. Overall, these experts had 7 pieces of advice for you as you try to chart your post-secondary path, your program or subject. So where do you start?
First of all, it starts with what you want to study and what kind of program you want to have.
What's the first piece of advice?
Don't panic.
Most of all, just don't be stressed out.
Deer in the headlights. Settle down, relax.
Enjoy it and appreciate the whole thing.
You know, university is the fun part. High school was the hard part.
So first off, don't panic. Of course, it helps if you
start early.
Not wait till grade 12.
Start looking grade 10 or grade 11, so that way you pick the right courses.
What are their prerequisites and the courses that are required?
You don't want to show up and find out you need physics and you never took grade 11 physics, because then you get stuck.
Spend at least the last 6 months really developing, in our instance, a portfolio. So those are examples of creative work, creative writing.
An Ontario high school students applying, we're getting their final grades from their previous year, and we're all using those to some degree or another in making an initial assessment for admission to the university. So grade 11 counts.
I just heard the screams of terrified grade 10 students. But how do you know what to study?
It's a pressure to feel like, well, I need to choose something that I'm going to get a job in.
In high school, I was told there was like 10 different career possibilities, right? Doctor, lawyer, teacher, that kind of a thing.
My parent was an engineer. I have to be an engineer too. And that may not be your thing.
I think what we see now is that people come in with such a hard and fast idea about what they want. I want to be a blank, and do you have that specific program? Maybe more than in past years.
Yeah, the advice I gave is very generic and a motherhood statement, but it is true. So pursue what you really like.
Pick something you love.
I would say do what you love.
Pick something that you're
Passionate about.
Do what you really want to do, because that is what's going to make you happiest in life.
Something that you're going to enjoy doing.
Whatever you do in life, you've got to do it like you mean it.
Because when they learn something that they're passionate about, they'll excel.
Study what you're passionate about and opportunities will present themselves.
When you find your passion, it'll work out.
Don't stress about fitting into a mold for professional school.
To get into medical school, you really need to have very good grades. And to get good grades, you really need to like the subject that you're studying. Because if you don't like the subject that you're studying, you're not going to get good grades. Chances of you getting into medical school will diminish.
Don't pick a university program because you want to get a job. Pick something that you really are passionate about, that you want to study.
Find your passion, pursue it. Don't think this through in terms of what am I going to do for a career, how much is it going to pay, and what.
We'll all try to do the very best we can to make sure that your degree is going to take you somewhere.
You can find a job if you're passionate about what you do. You can pave your own way.
Don't worry about what anybody else says. Go with your passion, stick to your gut.
Don't be scared and go for it.
Follow your gut.
Take a stab. Take that leap. If you're a little bit uncomfortable, take that leap, because you're never going to really know what you like unless you take a risk.
I can almost hear some of you thinking, I don't have passion for anything in particular.
It's important to start thinking about what you want to do and what type of institution you can see yourself at, but you don't need to have all the answers right away.
You know what? It's okay if you don't know what you want.
Don't be shy and worried if you don't know what you want to do yet.
It's okay not to know what you want to do. That's something that everyone goes through.
It's surprising how many students we talk to who are very anxious because at 17 or 18 years old, they haven't mapped out the rest of our lives.
I didn't know what I wanted to do directly out of high school.
Life doesn't work like that.
It's okay not to know what you want to do when you're 17, 18, 19 years old. I'm 22 and still am not entirely sure what I want to do just yet.
Actually, it seems as though the key piece of advice is don't get too focused on any one path.
Don't come in with an idea that you know where you're going to be in 4 or 6 or 8 years.
Have a plan, but make sure that the plan isn't inflexible.
Don't focus on necessarily the major being what you're going to do.
Don't come in with one program in mind and really limit yourself to that program, because you are limiting yourself.
They don't just have to pick one thing and that they can study a bunch of different things.
Try a few electives and see, maybe I like something else.
Basically, the experts are urging you not to close your mind.
I'd say keep an open mind.
Be open-minded about where you're going.
Keep an open mind.
I think keeping an open mind is super important.
Give yourself some options to find out what you really love.
Try out different things, see what you like.
What you do will come later.
Honestly, it's okay if you need to change your mind about switching programs or switching minors.
You're likely to change your mind.
People change their minds all the time and change their career paths.
And you may just change your course. And lots of students do that.
Your mind will change 101 times.
But 80% of students will change their programs after first year.
If you don't like it, it's not too late to change.
Experiment a bit and stretch your mind a little bit and see how things work.
And maybe a place that will give you an opportunity to change your mind.
So we make it easy for them to change direction.
Yeah, you can change.
Nice.
And we encourage that, frankly.
And there's lots of opportunities, at least at Western, to be really flexible in order to change your mind if you want to add something to your degree later on or change modules. I added something to my degree, for example, in second year that I had no idea about.
I changed my major 3 times.
For me, when I entered university, I was going to do criminal justice, but I switched to social work.
And I have 2 sons. Both of them changed direction 3-4 times during the course of their undergraduate years. And that's just absolutely fine by me.
Don't put too much of an emphasis on where you go to school and what you start with. It's what you end with that matters.
Going to university will inevitably expand your horizons.
You know, you're 17 years old, you haven't had necessarily a lot of the life experiences, and university tends to give you that.
This is called university because we offer so many different things.
There's so many courses and opportunities, especially in first year, that really open your eyes up to all the different subjects and all the different career possibilities that exist in the world.
The world is your oyster.
You may find something that you absolutely love that you never knew existed before.
One of the reasons you go to university is to find out what it is you want to do with the rest of your life.
Really, that's what you want out of a university experience.
Your personality changes, your interest changes a number of times between first semester and second semester, first year and second year.
When I came, I was dead set on psychology and I was dead set on medicine. Having discovered research and then getting involved in the student union politics, now business has caught my eye.
And the great thing about academia is being able to work between disciplines and think outside the box.
You don't know what you're going to fall in love with as you go through your university career.
One of the nice things about our degree is that students have a broad first year where you get the chance to try multiple things, maybe some things you haven't tried in high school before focusing in on 1 or 2 areas.
I really don't have a full grasp of all the things that we do.
A place that is going to give you the opportunity to explore that part of yourself.
So please discover.
So the 7 best pieces of advice as you contemplate your post-secondary path are: don't panic. Start early. Follow your passion. It's okay not to know what your passion is yet. Don't limit yourself. Keep an open mind. And remember that university will inevitably expand your horizons. Thanks for taking 10. Hopefully you found some of this advice helpful or reassuring as you look at planning your way forward. These experts also had 8 key pieces of advice when it comes to choosing between universities. We'll sum those up for you next week. To be sure you don't miss it, take a moment now to subscribe on iTunes, YouTube, or by email. Subscribers to my free email newsletter will get exclusive early access to upcoming episodes. I hope to see you next time.